I do apologize for the delay for this actual streams because a lot of things tend to just to happen within the space of 5 minutes before I could actually start the streams. I actually had to kind of just get everything out of the way before I actually start doing Free Gatsu No Line. But yes, I have returned today to do Free Gatsu No Line episode 6. If YouTube might just kick in at one point because I believe YouTube's a bit weird. Oh, it actually had started before. Okay, that was a tad strange. Like, YouTube actually had started before I even realized because good old YouTube. We're always doing what it does best. Just effing me over. But anyway, yeah, so I've returned to do Free Gatsu No Line episode 6. And as we know now, things are beginning to heat up in the actual anime because now we're starting to get to learn, I say my words, more about Ray's past. And Ray's past is very freaking interesting to say the damn least. So I have no idea what to expect next because it seems like there's a lot going down with his kind of sister. That's not really his sister, but you know what I mean, like the family-esque sister thingy. So yeah, it seems to be a lot going down with that, and also as well everything else in between, like him technically destroying that family. Like in essence, he really technically, inadvertently, against his own kind of better judgment, destroyed that whole entire family, which actually was kind of depressing. That makes sense, except more shogi. It's like, yeah, I did kind of imagine that it would probably be more shogi. It's never bad because I like that Sakuga shogi, as they call it, because the actual animation's so freaking phenomenal. Like, it's just so good. That shogi looks nice. So I'm playing shogi. I was like almost playing shogi with them. But anyhow, let's actually quickly go into I haven't got the thing actually on because no one expects Japanese chess inquisition. It's true, no one does expect this, the Japanese chess inquisition. That's actually a really good name for a band. Like I might start using that for a band name. Why is it just immediately shot for Regards to the episode 1? I've already seen it. No, stop. Stop Crunchyroll. Stop it. Cut it out. There we are. We're back to normal. I've got a pretty good opening. Damn. Chapter 11, Child of God Part. Whoa, that's freaking hell. I might have to actually. I might just trademark it like after the stream ends. And be like, yep, Japanese Chess Inquisition. It's gonna be my name for my band. What we're gonna play is reruns of Nirvana songs as well. We're gonna do covers of Nirvana songs because that's the rage. It's the rage of doing anything on the internet. You're not a band sometimes unless you actually cover a Nirvana song. That's how I always found it, because if you go into any Sony trailer lately, it's always goddamn Nirvana. I was like, why is it always Nirvana? And now it's Seven Nation Army by White Stripes. I was like, really? Why is it Seven Nation Army now? It's like it just constantly changes. So you got to cover one of those songs to actually kind of get big in the actual business. That's actually how I found it. Anyhow, enough of random business talk of music. Let's get this stream on the road. So in 3, 2, 1. Let's. I forget we actually started the opening. Okay, yeah. So I might just I don't know which song to cover because every single song's practically being covered. I need to find a Nirvana song no one's ever heard of, or not kind of more known. I can't do something in the way because it's pretty much been done, and then I can't do Smell Like Teen Spirit because it's practically the most known covered version or known covered song by any band that does Nirvana covers. Got to find one. There's got to be one out there. That is true. That is a pretty great song to cover. Like I have to give my hand to anyone who does actually try to cover that song. Like, that's a pretty touchy subject kind of song. Like, it's kind of one of those ones that yeah. You got to kind of. I mean that pretty much is the most like kind of brave cover to do. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if there's any other songs that haven't been covered by Nirvana. So pretty much every single one of them has been done, like, completely, in some sense, a way or another, like either by rap or by heavy metal or by extremely low tempoed indie music. There's our boy Ray. Oh yeah, they're having a vacation this week, weren't they? That's a point. I remember now. She deserves it though. She deserves a beach episode. Is it always just me, but every single shaft shot has that random, like, kind of really extreme close up of the face and just slowly turns? Always. Yeah, it has actually been. That's always been one of those things I've always noticed about their shows. It's kind of one of those drastic turn close up. It always tends to be kind of really subdued scenes though sometimes as well. Oh my God, it's Riken! We're in volume 2 now. They sleep. Oh, now I see it. Now I understand why we said she appears in the first episode in the opening. It all makes sense. That's where she appeared. Kyoko actually appeared in the opening of the first episode. I'm an idiot for not realizing that. I mean, is Kyoko best girl though? That's just a kind of like see what you did there kind of thing. Takari's best girl. Can't take that away from me. I'll fight anyone that tells me that Kari's not best girl. True. It does actually constitute which personality you prefer. Damn. I just realized how operatic the actual OST really is. It's almost like you're watching a German expressionism film, like the 1920s. It's a really, really odd allegory that probably hardly anyone will probably get. I just made though. It makes it like 10 times more operatic though. It's kind of cool. You know something that anime this season likes its water. Like to represent someone's psychosis, they tend to like use water. Yeah. Water does tend to be a metaphor, like a very massive metaphor, because it's something you have to. It's technically the water is something you have to overcome. You have to get through it to actually get to the better place. And in this case, technically, it's the island. It's kind of his salvation. Water tends to be an obstacle. Also, technically, the water could represent life itself as well. Extremely deep like metaphors. Oh, okay. I mean, Ray's psychosis tends to be very freaking interesting. It's one of those things that kind of very. Oh my god, is that Thief from Tokyo Ghoul? It's his face from Tokyo Ghoul that kills Kaneki at the end. Don't trust him; he's gonna kill you off. Use it as a king. I think they pronounce it. Is it Jack? Yeah, but it's called Jack. I don't think he's called Jack. He generally looks like the guy from Tokyo Ghoul. Toji, you're the guy from Tokyo Ghoul. You're the guy that takes on Kaneki in Ray, I think. From my limited reading. It's Sawyer? Say who? I cannot. I have to look it up afterwards now because it's really annoying me. One thing I actually do quite like the title of this actual episode is actually Arima. That's his name. That's it. It's Arima. I didn't forget. It's Arima. Let's point it out to me. I completely forgot his namesake in there. Oh, that kind of makes sense now. You think about it. The whole entire thing with the motif of the. So I'm guessing he's the storm within Ray's kind of psychosis. It'd be kind of weird if Arima takes on Ray and actually makes him into like a pro shogi player. And then have to end the whole entire thing by them fighting each other. That's the whole entire thing. That's what really kind of struck me. Is the whole entire episode's called "The Child of God," but when you kind of realize what's really going down with Ray in this episode, and then what's happened to me, kind of like, yeah, there's kind of massive contradiction when you think about it, because he's meant to be this prodigy, but he's actually technically lost 2 games in a row. It's one of those things. It's that kind of mantle people take on. Actually, when you become a prodigy, there's sometimes when that tends to happen to people. Like one of the major things, and I can see, was tennis. They're technically the only sport I tend to actually follow. Tends to be one of those things, like, I don't know, there might be a world number one that's like world number one for at least a year, and then after, like, I'll say 30 matches that he wins straight, there's about 5 matches he loses. Yeah, that's the whole entire thing. It's the expectations that comes with being called this. You know, right? Reigen does get around, doesn't he? And taking it the whole entire motif with Sawyer as well is that whole thing as well. Holy freaking Christ, that's a really beautiful frame. I just realized something. Now when you think about it, that's actually a really, really, really nice evocative frame. The whole entire thing, the whole entire sun shining upon Sensei, like kind of almost bringing back this whole entire idea of the child of God. But when you think about it, really, he theoretically isn't. Yeah, good old Reigen's. I think he's one of my favorite voice actors in the business. It's the expectations one has. That's the problem. You know, I expected a Peach episode. Didn't get one. Kind of depressed. Damn it, he's adorable. Adios. I'm sorry, a little bit bored. Got like 12 volumes to get to a Beach episode. God damn. God damn. Damn that kind of Hanizawa. Damn it. I was baited by Akari, if I pronounce her name correctly. Akari saying about her going to the beach. I was like, oh my god, beach episode. No. I feel baited. But it's alright. I've got love Hina trying to actually make Ray feel a lot better. There's the old motif again. Goddamn Shaft and their brilliant framing and composition and bloody everything else in between. These guys know what to do and do it so freaking well. You know, probably Shaft will make a season 2 of this, I'd imagine. They always do. Like they did with Nisekoi, but Nisekoi season 2 was complete tripe. So many problems I do kind of fear sometimes, but I have faith. That's why I say I have faith in Shaft. In Shaft we trust. That's why I say. Again, that was a really nice episode. Like, it show really nails the whole entire character study of this whole entire anime. It really does nail it, like to a point. Like, it's just the visuals are so freaking fantastic. It elevates anything that was actually shown in dialogue above it just because of the visuals themselves. Visuals just elevate everything. It makes everything so much better. I decided to do a part after the ED. That sounds weird. Huh. I don't think there ever has been a part after the ED. No, wait, has there been though? I think there was. Speaking of devil, I think there was a time. That's part 3. Jeez, okay. Oh, Crisis in Memory. Holy freaking Christ, that's an amazing transition. Get brain freeze. Oh no. It's a crush, isn't it? Yeah, it's a crush. You can't leave a girl like that. Nah, man. Damn it. Well, who did the Stop baiting me with a Hot Springs episode as well. God damn it, anime. Like, I want a beach and a hot spring episode. Like, oh really? Like, have there ever been other times when I've actually kind of just had one episode dedicated just to one chapter? Simply, it was technically one chapter just split into parts. I don't remember now. I think it rattles your brain slightly. I think so, probably. But oh man, I want to kind of. Episode was kind of. It was kind of. I don't know what to say. At least a little less depressing than last week's one, because last week's one was really freaking depressing. Like, it was one of those episodes, like, you know, like, oh, my heart, like, it's been destroyed. But this one kind of, it had its moments. That it was kind of like, when our good old friend Kyoko came back, that kind of brought it back to a little bit more depressing, because what she said to it is kind of like, well, okay, girl, like, that's not very nice. Like, stop beating that poor guy down. Like, it's not his fault, man. It's not his fault, girl. Like, you can't be doing that. But no, it was a little bit less depressing, I imagine. I didn't kind of feel like I was kind of having my heart ripped apart like a little tiny bit this week. No, my heart's completely okay this week. But no, still, I kind of loved I love the episode title. I think the best thing about the whole entire episode was the episode title being called The Child of God, but then it's the whole entire thing of him consecutively losing twice in the space of like no time when he actually was going to do a match. In essence, he actually lost twice, like consecutively. It's actually kind of a nice, neat, like almost contradiction because he's a prodigy. He's kind of this mass thing. He's actually pretty freaking coolio when it comes to that kind of when it comes to shogi. Like he's a prodigy. Protege. So you say it. He's pretty freaking fun when it comes to that game. But then it's that whole entire thing of him losing. It's this expectation a person has upon you that you have to kind of keep up because, again, he beat out everyone else in that family to get to the point he's in. In essence, everyone else was completely casted out. We might get a shogi arc this season as well? Wow. Okay. I'm reading the manga after the series ends anyway, so it's fine. But no, it's one of those things. It's that mantle that one must take on upon yourself when you become that protege in a family after beating everyone else out, and you will kind of have a few looks like, why haven't you kind of rised up like this? Like, yes, everyone does have their slumps, but dude, you're meant to be a protege. What are you doing? And I think it was really, really, really nice presented. It's a major thing. I'm guessing probably the Soya arc is probably like, might have been season 2? Like, could it have been a season 2 kind of thing? So if this actual anime does pretty well, which I think it's doing it pretty well, imagine season 2 might come out. Plus Shaft always do season 2s to their shows. There's not really many shows I can recall by Shaft that don't have season 2s. If it was Madhouse, then I'll be complaining a bit more. I'll be like, no, Madhouse, do not do this anime, please. Love of Christ, stop. But no, Shaft might make a season 2, I'd imagine. But no, I think it was really neat because it always kind of harked back to this whole entire episode title. It was one of those things. The episode always harked back to it. In essence, that whole entire scene where he's talking to Sensei was down the stairs while Ray was on the actual stairs themselves. You could see just at that point that it was kind of presenting that whole entire motif correctly. It was presenting him as God towards Sensei, but in theory, when you think about it, so it was technically the actual volume afterwards. That's actually that's horrible. I'm interested to see what Soya does because he seems pretty interesting. In essence, I thought to myself, is he gonna train Raid? And then actually, in the end, they have to fight each other, and it might end up with one of them dying, like in essence, like in Tokyo Ghoul. Like I'll be like, whoa, man, no, because Soya does look like Arima a bit. I was kind of like, hey, wait a second here. Is that Arima from Tokyo Ghoul? I couldn't remember his name at first, but it's Arima. No, but I generally think the visuals were the thing that elevated this episode beyond anything else. Like, it's one of those things I just love. I love how meticulous Shaft are about their framing and how everything else is done. It's so freaking masterful. It's like watching a movie done by a master. Like it's almost, I don't know who I can associate it to. Like it's like almost, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a director I could actually like kind of bring it back to, because there are master directors out there. When you actually watch their kind of movies, you're like, fracking hell, this is actually beyond amazing. Like it's one of those things, and I think it's like almost like that. You're watching such a beautiful show just transpire in front of your eyes. It's like watching a movie by a favorite director just in front of your eyes. It's done so meticulously that I wish, God damn it, they would actually get some more recognition, like in the business. Like, in essence, like I don't know, Oscars come in and go, guys, we know we're not meant to actually be doing like TV shows or anything, but you guys are pretty good at framing and composition and cinematography, so you get an Oscar nomination. That'd be pretty freaking cool, or like an Emmy or anything like that. That'd be pretty freaking nice, because fracking hell, there were certain shots I was like, fracking hell, boys, like, you're doing a pretty good job here. Like, stop what you're doing now because you're giving everyone else a bad name. Like, Bones, who's Bones after this? Like, we watch a Shaft show, like, who the hell is Bones? Like, God damn. I think when you think about it in larger context, I think Shaft are good at composition and framing when it comes to very, very stilted shots. But when you think about it, Bones and everyone else are really freaking good at action and stuff like that, and composition of action and everything in between. But I can't remember anything I've seen by Shaft that's actually really action orientated. Can't remember anything off the top of my head. So you get what I mean. That's what I always kind of like about Shaft shows. Shaft shows have something which no other studio has. If their shows are just slice of life, kind of character exploration shows, they're never once boring. Like, it's because everything that's presented in this show is interesting. Not one thing is boring. Everything else just screams there's something there that you must be paying attention to. Like, it's never boring once you kind of just look. It's just so freaking good. I'm like, Shaft, come on. I love you, boys. I love my boys. I love my Shimbo. I love my directors. Like, God. I would say they are the best in the game when it comes to the Sakuga. Like, they are freaking amazing. Like, I think Bones are slowly creeping up, like ladder. Like, I think Madhouse were there, but then after a while they kind of just sat down after One Punch Man. But I think Bones slightly regained what good old Madhouse lost. I think Shaft are top because Shaft just freaking know what they're doing. Like, they go, guys, we're gonna make a bloody masterful episode in, and like, got you covered, boy. That's how they do it. Just barely implement them in 1 or 2 action scenes and random live shows. But I think as well, when you think about it, they do technically have extremely nice shots, even in the very boring, like, kind of non-action oriented shows. Like, because people, when you go down the street and you say, "Hey, do you watch Slice of Life?" Everyone's like, "Nah, fam, that's boring. I need that action." So that's why I kind of have to label it like that. But no, because there was one shot, I can't remember which. There was one Monogatari series I watched the very first episode or first couple, and I was like, "This is actually pretty freaking good." Went back and watched the other ones. Can't remember it, but it's one of them when I swear it's either Aragari. That's how you pronounce his name. Aragi is either his sister or it's one of his friends, is kind of in her bed. And the way they frame it, it's amazing. Like, it's a shot that is like, it's what's going on, and that's not anime. That's like beyond it. Like, it's freaking a phenomenal shot. It's like she's almost trapped in a bird cage. It's amazing. It's just like they just know how to do it. I love Shaft just for that reason. I think they're masters of the craft. They're just so freaking good. And this episode was no freaking different. This episode really just kind of proved that whole entire thing with the whole motif of the child of God and how it all kind of was implemented very, very subtly when you think about it, because it's one of those things, if you blink or you miss it kind of thing. As you really they should kind of remember the episode title is one of those things that kind of just like, it goes over your head slightly. Because I was sitting there going, hey, wait a second here. That's a pretty good shot, because when you think about it, he's meant to be God, or he's meant to be a protege, he's meant to be a child of God. And he really isn't, but the show's trying to remember that he is, and they're trying to make it seem like he actually is this person that really doesn't technically have those like qualities just yet. Yeah, he's freaking good, but he does technically have his slumps. Which is kind of neat, because it doesn't ever brush past that whole entire idea. It keeps that motif going for the whole entire episode. It keeps it going. Even when he's in a slump, the framing, the lighting, and everything else in between keeps that motif alive. It keeps the motif that he is this protege. He's this person that is a force to be reckoned with within the business. Like, you just don't mess with this kid when it comes to shogi. Like, he's a shogi master. Like, though he has his slumps. But as we've already introduced, it's the whole entire idea of that it's the expectations one has of you that you must carry. Like, if you're a protege, if you come from a family that you beat everyone else out who are pretty freaking good, then you have to carry that mantle. That mantle is going to be freaking strong. Like, in essence, you have to actually kind of keep it going. You can't ever get out of that idea. And that's what I was kind of speaking about with tennis. Tennis is that whole entire thing as well. If you tend to actually be number one for a whole entire year, you're kind of expected to keep that motif going. If you lose, then you kind of lose respect of everyone else around you. And then you kind of just feel like nothing. You feel like you can't go anywhere, because if you look at, if someone that you knew from there looks at you, be like, well, that person, he's not what you thought he was. That's what I'm trying to get at. I think that makes some semblance of sense somewhere. I don't even freaking know. I think that makes a little bit of sense, but I kind of like it for that reason. I think this show's phenomenal because it just pays attention to the little details and actually just gives you so much more than what dialogue can ever do. It's a very show don't tell series. That's what I kind of take away from this show. It's very show don't tell. It thinks that the audience isn't dumb. That's one of the things, because some shows that I've watched recently tend to actually give everything out on the platter. They don't ever kind of leave it up to the expectation or the actual kind of, they don't leave it up to the interpretation of the viewer. Like, one other thing that Cult Night has going for it, it's a very, very, very show don't tell series, or it's very, very fast tell don't show sort of series. But this one doesn't actually technically kind of beat you over the head with the whole entire motif. It kind of makes you say, look, okay, fam, it's a shot. Look at the shot. Decipher what it means, and that's how you're going to get your whole entire meaning. We won't show it entirely through dialogue. And I think that's when a show becomes more effective. I think a show is more effective for that one reason. When a show just presents itself through visuals rather than dialogue, I think it's when a show becomes more effective, and it slowly goes beyond just being anime and goes into full-blown art. Like, that's what it really is. Because when you think about it, you can take shots from the show and just frame them in a gallery that could be called art, because it really is. It's a very artistic show. It's just, it borderlines upon that reason, because it never ever once just beats you over the head with the whole entire meaning. It just lets you kind of take it in on your own merit. It kind of rewards you for that reason. If you're able to pick them up, it's rewarding, because you're like, yeah, I see where they're coming from now. I see what they mean by this whole entire idea of the child of God. Even that very last shot with Hina and Rei, it just brought it all back into full circle. It didn't actually kind of just tell you full blown, yeah, he's child of God, boys. Like, he's that protege. Like, that a guy didn't come into the like kind of restaurant and say, that guy, he's a protege and he should be the child of God. It didn't tell you that. It just showed you through framing and lighting. That's when it becomes more effective. That's what I think shows should technically do that more often. I think shows should always just allow for the viewer to actually kind of interpret rather than the actual kind of anime to tell you. But then again, I think most shows technically don't have to do that, because most shows technically just have to follow a formula, which is very much known to the person, so they actually can actually like it. Because that tends to be another thing I've noticed recently with anime. That anime tends to just follow a formula, and it sort of gets to the point like, I've seen it all before, done by so many better studios. What's the point? Like, it's a recurring theme I've seen, like, just in the past 2 seasons. There have been a lot more animes about doujin gaming, like, kind of scene. Like, you had New Game. Now you have this one. I think it's called, like, I can't remember the name of it, but it's a show this season which is very much exactly the same. Like, once a show kind of like becomes popular, that almost becomes a staple for what people should follow with. Like, the same thing with the harem genre. The harem genre was exactly the same. Like, one came out, and then everyone was like, "Well, freaking hell, that makes money, so we're gonna keep on doing it." And I think that might be a downfall. That's why people don't. Yeah, a lot of shows realize that people don't have an attention span or eye for that kind of thing. It's depressing. It's depressing, because the same thing happens with movies. Like, there are movies where you're watching it like, freaking hell. Why didn't this get a lot more money? Shaft is very much Shaft. Like, even in their kind of more mediocre shows, they still have such an eye for detail. You're like, freaking hell, like, this is so freaking good. But it's just, I've noticed there's so many trends this year that it just technically, it beats you over the head too much of it. Like, it's the whole, like, you had 100, you had was it like Mouse Again? No, Hybrid, like Mouse Again, a Hybrid. That was basically like the same show. One of them's a bit more lewd, one of them borderline hentai, but you know what I mean. It was that whole entire formula. I think it was Shimmer now, then it was 100, then it was Hybrid X Hybrid. So it kind of, it just annoys you, because there's certain animes that go against the formula, and people write it off as, oh my god, it makes no sense, I can't watch this. And that's what I can get it, because people aren't exposed to those kind of things, so people don't technically tend to pay attention to them. It was like, I guess when you think about it, ReZero was such a surprise, because you thought yourself when going into it, oh, it's just gonna be another anime about a man trapped inside another world. He's gonna get used to it, get harem, get laid constantly. That's about it. But no, it bucked that trend completely. It just said, no, we're not doing that. And that's why ReZero is such a surprise, because of that one reason. The reason was it bucked the trend. And I think, again, that's what Shaft does with this anime. Shaft very much has bucked the trend when it comes to slice of life shows, or very much sign-in kind of shows, because a lot of slice of life shows technically tend to be kind of your conventional narrative. It never tends to go beyond anything. Like, I haven't seen very many character-driven slice of life shows which technically just focus on the psyche of a person. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't seen very many. So I kind of like the Shaft kind of just went, no effort, we're doing our own thing, and just made this, like, this masterpiece of 7 episodes. It's so freaking good. I'm like, man, like, why isn't this not a trend that carries on throughout the whole entire anime? Like, the other thing to note is that one trend that's coming out now of, like, father and daughter or father and son kind of anime about them cooking. Like, you had Izama to Izama, or Sweetness and Lightning, and then you have that udon anime this season. It's like it's like almost when a trend comes out, they have to follow that trend because it makes money. Like, it just like, no man, just make your own thing. That's why I kind of like original shows that technically tend to break the actual like formula and do something completely different, because it's technically just so much fun to watch. Because you're seeing something different to what you're usually known to see, and that's why people don't tend to watch it. Like. But alas, 3 Gatsu no Lions here to actually tell you now, fam. I'm here to actually kind of just destroy what you know about the slice of life genre or anything else in between, and actually give you some really freaking complex, rewarding anime. So yeah, congratulations Shaft and Shimbo and everyone else in between. You're doing a good job. Carry on doing it. So yes, with all that said, I've indeed been a driver. If you have enjoyed this live stream as a whole, and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does help me quite a bit. If you have enjoyed my content on here and you do want to leave a like, then do leave a like, because indeed it does make quite a bit. But until tomorrow with Gundam Token Ranbu, I think Bokura no Kiseki, I shall see you guys tomorrow. See you guys later.